Will? Really? Really, Will?
It's not my fault. I live near
God
rednecks.
damn it.
Not my fault.
That was so fucking loud. Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Anime Circuit Podcast. I'm your host, Miles Stackpool, along with my other two hosts, Will and Drake.
Hello.
Hello.
Now then, the anime that we are reviewing from the previous week or weeks or many weeks, depending on when this video actually comes out.
Let's hope in a reasonable time frame.
F7, 8, and 9 is ready and will definitely be uploaded by tonight.
And then 10, 11, 12, whenever we want to.
That's halfway done. That's halfway done.
Alright. Okay, so they should be up soon.
Sometimes.
We hope.
But by the time you're watching this, they will be up.
Okay. But the anime that we are reviewing this week is the iDOLM STER. STER. I will say it that way.
You also forgot. No, it's because it's in all caps except for the I and the at sign. It's like the STER.
The iDOLM STER.
Yeah, let's go with Idol Master. That works better.
Okay, the iDOLM STER. This is much easier.
Significantly easier, yes.
Alright. And I found myself initially wanting to kill myself watching the first episode. It was literally an episode of Jersey Shore for the first episode. I will completely admit that. But after that, it slowly and surely got better. And it made some comparisons in terms of the writing to some pretty decent franchises that I will mention later on. What are your guys' opinions about the beginning of the show? The first episode, because I really want to hear this.
The first episode, I hated as well, and actually, I thought the show progressively got worse until, like, episode 4. But, besides that, the first episode was certainly a unique approach to how to make a first episode.
It certainly was that.
Everyone's a fucking bitch. Here you go.
No,
Kind of.
well, that's sort of. I would think of them more as just sort of, just retards. But it was a live action interview in that reality show type-ish style about these fictional characters.
That was definitely off-putting, yeah.
Yeah.
And from there, the show only kind of got worse as it started focusing on the little girls, and then it went to Yukiho, which I thought had the worst episode, and then when it got on to a little bit of, like, Chihaya on the reality show with the fucking cook, like, the cook show, it got a little bit better. Episode 5 was a little bit better after that, and episode 6 is kind of when it finally took off.
I would agree that episode 6 is around that time. Where it did start getting better. Really better.
This is the first time I've been in opposition to you guys. I didn't really think the first episode was that bad. They were nothing to write home about, sure, but they weren't particularly bad, just kind of there. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't think episode 1 was Jersey Shore, as Miles did.
I just thought everyone was annoying. Like, just super, super annoying. And I was like, oh my god, everyone is just a moe stereotype taken to this extreme that, like, was unbearable for me. And I initially dropped the show after the first 2 episodes.
That's why I called it Jersey Shore.
I don't watch moe shows, so I don't know those stereotypes.
And then I went back, and then I watched episode 3, skipped basically an entire third of episode 3, and then went back to finish episode 3 after I finished the entire show and realized, this was kind of worth it.
I wouldn't call it worth it, especially not for that first episode. I don't know. This is the sort of thing where it's like, if you're looking, this is my opinion on the series as a whole, if you're looking for something to watch just in your spare time, after you get through the first episode, this is it. This is It's a fairly average series. A little bit better than average, but fairly average.
Will and I hold this show to I think a higher pedestal.
Very high regard.
Me, maybe probably the highest. I mean, I can't tell you kind of how deep into this show I really dug when I started breaking down all the essential character arcs that really start making this story starting at episode 6, because
It's because Drake found his waifu.
it's not the
Yes.
waifu. This is
It is.
no, it's
Yes,
not.
it is.
Otherwise, like, I wouldn't be, kind of telling myself that, Miki's arc is great, yeah, and, I mean, it starts, the earliest, so therefore it goes on the longest and has the most amount of time to develop, but, I mean, there are, there's breaks, where she kind of doesn't really play a role, and a lot of the focus does go to Chihaya and Haruka when it needs to happen, and, I mean, Chihaya's arc is definitely the darkest, and definitely the most feels-worthy for anyone, who's easy to get it.
I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff, so Chihaya was definitely number one waifu in there. Although I don't like her as a character, she was probably the most well-rounded character that I could find.
And Haruka's arc, it was probably the most shallow in a way, and also the latest, so it only really got kind of like 3 episodes to happen, as compared to nearly the entire, or at least half of the series.
That was a lot of LSD in that arc.
Yes.
Like, she had, like, a kid version of herself show up and give her a pep talk.
It was the Ava train ride.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it was like, wait, what?
Then it gave her candy. I'm like, what is this? Like, how?
That if you want to know why, this is one thing about the series that you guys have to know. If you want to know why everyone looks a little cross-eyed and constantly keeps getting more cross-eyed throughout the series, it's all Haruka's fault.
She's a drug dealer, yeah.
She is the drug dealer. She carries around little candies with LSD and hands them to people throughout the series. And you notice by the end of the series, everyone's eating the candy and everyone's going cross-eyed. They are taking drugs.
I won't deny that A1's budget for this show kind of,
It was terrible. If you look at any of the scenes with the crowd is a bunch of 3D Lego models.
It is. It's not at the start.
It's so bad. There's not even one of them has some variety
At
to
the
them.
start, the crowds look kind of
It's so
decent.
bad.
I mean, like, you compare episode 13 to, like, the finale, and you really wonder what happened.
Yeah. It's like, they were just, like, completely blacked out in the finale.
They spent too much money on the music, which I never cared for.
Really, all the money kind of went into the concert scenes, minus the audience, but the actual dance sequences looked pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, this show didn't look fantastic.
I
in
think
any
you're
regard,
judging the
in my
art,
opinion,
not the
but okay.
animation. The animation was...
No, the animation, I mean, like, the depth of field, the difference in between characters when they're standing next to each other, it's like their hands are like the tiniest fucking things ever, and then their heads are like gigantic for some fucking reason in comparison to regular anime heads. And then all of a sudden, they'll, like Azusa, literally, every other fucking scene, her boobs expand and contract. I'm not kidding. It's like, it's so bad. The inconsistency of the animation is terrible within this series. And even though people say that and I will say, I don't agree with you on the fact that the dancing sequences are good, they, like, cut frames out in between, so it looks pretty choppy whenever you watch it for the concerts or anything, unless they're all standing still, which most of the time they are.
No, they're not.
Not at all.
I mean, I can point to you to, like, any concert episode, and they're always dancing, and the camera's always panning across.
When they're actually singing?
No, they're always moving.
Not always. A lot of the times from what I saw, not always. And I just watched the whole fucking thing.
I watched this show 3 times. I mean,
God.
I think I remember those dance sequences pretty well.
Okay.
Okay, so anyways, what made me really, really like this series, and what kind of made me put it into my favorites is this series has this really good way of showing, subtlety and it's an exercise of patience, to have things pay off, because I mean, starting off at like the first noticeable arc being like Miki's at episode 6 when everyone's trying to like compete with Yugo Komachi, like nothing about Miki even gets brought up again until episode 11, but just from kind of watching the other characters and her mingle with them that you see the effort she's trying to put into catching up with Yugo Komachi, and then from like episodes 11 to 13 clearly all about her, and her kind of, quitting, getting some development, sharing her feelings with producer, and then, kind of coming back to save the concert. And then from then on, it's small things, like you kind of see her ability to like, capture everyone's attention, like in episode 15 on the reality show that they host. And then it jumps again not until like episode 22 or so where it's like all of a sudden you see Miki has like this commercial for her new CD, and you realize that she's kind of become the most successful of these people, And then Miles even said one time, when he was kind of blogging it on Skype to us, that he said like, whoa, like Miki was out for blood this one scene against Haruka, and I know what scene he's fucking talking about, because she was.
Yeah.
And she felt like, she owed so much to the people who put her in her position.
All in all, I thought Miki was pretty much a bitch, but okay.
She felt like she owed so much to the people who put her in her position, that she kind of ignored, everything else around her. And then like that was sort of like her final moment when she kind of said to herself that she doesn't want to like lose herself to her career. And it kind of fit in with the whole theme of 765, kind of having to become its own little family, which, both Chihaya and Haruka play its own role in setting up, and that's why I really like the arcs in this series, because they're not even really done when like the focus changes to a new character, because by the end, it was Haruka's arc by that point, and her kind of losing 765 Pro, as this group, as this friend group, and Chihaya's arc started back, in my opinion, way back in episode 11, but, Chihaya even has her role playing in that arc where she kind of realizes that the closest thing she has to a family is 765, and so she wants to keep it together, not just for Haruka's sake, but even her own, because Chihaya doesn't have a family, and, she needs one.
There was a lot of build-up for that arc.
Well, that wasn't that prevalent, but okay.
But I'm saying this all, it's all intertwined so well, and when you break it apart, you realize how much actual thought and subtlety went into writing this story. A simple story, a generic story, but one so extremely well done that I'm not going to deny just how well this series was written, because not everything has to be creative for it to be good.
And that's where I kind of disagree. In terms of the writing for this show, I will say this. It reminded me of Persona 4. That's a good thing, but a bad thing all at the same time. Because, yeah, it does have this sort of overall togetherness towards the end. But that's the problem. It's all at the end. It's nowhere else throughout the series that you really feel that. The ending of the series is its high point. But everything before that really doesn't hit home nearly as hard. Everything before episode 20, in my opinion.
And episode 20 was when Chihaya got her voice back.
Yes, but that's when you realize that, oh, this group is coming together, they're actually something now. But everything before that, you couldn't really feel any of that. It was that tiny little bit of magic that was sprinkled on at the end that made it all worth it. But I have to ask myself, was it really worth it to sit through all of this random crap that they threw at us that really didn't make any sense? And in my opinion, no, it wasn't.
I think it makes sense when you look for the growth and you see that the growth is actually happening.
The problem is the way that the growth is presented to us. And we are given the perspective of the producer, who is being hit on by all of these.
He's not being hit on by any one of them. Haruka and Miki at the most are the only two.
Whatever. You're given, at its basic level, you're basically given the perspective of a harem protagonist. And that doesn't leave a good taste in my mouth. Okay? At its base level, that's the type of person that you are projecting yourself onto when you watch this series. I don't care what you say, this guy is a fucking dunce.
None of these girls are after him. I don't know why you think that.
He is the main character.
Not really. No, not really. He hasn't...
Yes, he is. We're given his perspective in the first episode.
He doesn't do much of anything. Yeah, his first episode from his first person view, yes. And for, at the start of the series, he does kind of, have his own arc kind of intertwined with everyone else's, as he kind of has to realize that it's like, oh man, I'm not getting these girls' work, Ryogu Komachi's kicking our asses, I have to...
He has to figure out that he needs to do his job.
What he has to do is he has to learn the strengths and weaknesses of each character, because he doesn't understand that yet. He's giving each girl jobs that they're not good for. And therefore, he's kind of, not taking advantage of what they're good at, and so therefore they're not very successful, and they're not doing very good jobs at their career, and you wonder at why everyone's such a bitch and an idiot at the beginning of the series, and you're like, well, now I get it. Like, just no one's doing anything, and no one's doing anything because no one has work, and no one has work because no one understands one another.
But that's the problem. That's the problem, Drake. The fact that they don't give you anything in the beginning.
No, they don't. They don't. But I say this is a series that rewards patience. I mean, when you finish it and you look back, you see that things have changed a lot.
Yes. It's not pacing. It's just on a basic level broken.
Broken?
Yes. The writing is very subpar. I will say that right now. It doesn't have any thought put into it. All of the things that you were mentioning about, these things are being brought up beforehand. It's called basic foreshadowing, and they do it very blatantly throughout the series. It's very simple to understand, and not only that, they go ahead and give you even more clues that they're foreshadowing with, what is it? The white-haired girl. What's her name again?
But Takane?
Yeah, she is literally the foreshadow character, in case you didn't know. And this doesn't really come off as easily to us who are American, but there's myths about the white fox and everything over in Japan. I can't remember what the fucking name is for it. I had it open earlier. Anyways, there's one scene where she's wearing the fox mask, and she's talking to the girl whose little brother died.
Chihaya.
Yeah. Basically, that fox mask is supposed to represent a being who is basically omnipotent and able to understand the feelings of others. Whenever she comes in, she is a plot device to go ahead and say, okay, things are going to happen because I threw in a random riddle somewhere.
Well, Takane, the way I see it, Takane's actual episode was like episode 19. And that's definitely, and that's the episode.
No, it's not just her episode. It's every part she's in. She's a plot device.
I haven't noticed it that much.
No, I didn't notice that really either.
Like, to that degree of which you're emphasizing. I only noticed it in episode 19, but to episode 19's credit, episode 11 and 16 were already foreshadowing Chihaya's arc, because episode 16 was Hibiki's and it started with Chihaya having that dream about the glass shattering, as her parents argued, and in episode 11 was when Chihaya and Haruka were making dinner together, and the camera panned over to the picture of her brother, and you didn't understand why we were panning over to a picture of her brother for no reason. But it's like
it was not that hard to figure out with everything that they'd shown us way beforehand.
They hadn't really shown us anything, though.
They didn't.
They did.
The only thing we knew was from episode 1, and Chihaya said, all I have is singing. And she didn't even want to do the interview because she was so focused on her singing that she's like, I don't want to do this interview. I just want to get back to singing. Singing's all I care about. All I have is singing.
It's just a jumble of characters that really don't belong together, in my opinion.
Well, in a weird way, shape, and form, you wouldn't entirely be wrong, and the characters aren't supposed to be together. I mean, when you play the Idolmaster game, which this is based on, you do an individual route. And, see, this anime isn't even combining all the routes, because, I've seen several Let's Plays of the game. I can't get access to it, I'm not Japanese. But, I mean, from all the Let's Plays I've seen, this anime actually doesn't really adapt the routes nearly all that accurately whatsoever. A lot of this is anime original material, because the characters in the game don't develop that much. And this anime wanted to change that.
Well, I have a couple discrepancies on that, because I really don't think hardly anyone developed at all. Except in episode 20, she was the only one to actually do any development.
In this series, I saw development in Miki and Chihaya, and Haruka wasn't really going to develop until the movie.
Miki just stopped sleeping. That's literally what she did. After that, her personality had no difference whatsoever. The way she spoke to anyone had no difference whatsoever. The way she treated everyone around her had no difference whatsoever. She remained the cutesy bitch that she was in the beginning.
I don't know about you, but I saw her putting in a lot more effort.
Effort doesn't mean character change.
It kind of does.
It kind of does when you're introduced by sleeping.
When you're introduced to a character who's the laziest of the entire
That's what I'm saying.
And all of a sudden...
That's what I'm saying. That's the only change she had in her character. She just decided, okay, I'm gonna do stuff.
That is character development.
But you kept calling her a bitch, and I didn't even really see her being a bitch. The only time she became kind of cold was with Haruka, but she needed to be cold. Haruka needed to be taught a lesson, or else she wasn't gonna change. It was for her own good. I thought Miki was a completely different character, nearly the opposite at the end of the series from how she started.
I cannot agree with you whatsoever about the writing on the show. There really isn't anything good or original about it.
I think it's good. Not original, but good.
Now, in terms of enjoyment for the series, the way that it presents itself, yeah, I can see how some people can like it. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad by any means. Was it good? No. No, it hits nearly the borderline. Just a little bit above. That's all it is. It's a very average series.
Well, you haven't thrown in your 2 cents yet.
Man, I'm kind of in the middle. I mostly agree with Drake on the character development and just in general, I agree with Drake more often than Miles in this discussion, because Miles, you kind of discredited characters immediately.
Well, yeah, because they needed to be. In my opinion, these characters didn't really have any depth to them. I mean, really, there was only one character with a good amount of depth.
I'd say 3.
Okay. Other than the random Ava scene, I can't really see anything else.
Wait, so your depth is going to Haruka?
No. Haruka's second. And I barely even give her anything in the first place.
I say, Miki, Haruka, and Chia are the ones who actually had development with the show. They actually did change and develop.
Well, I don't know if Haruka changed. I think the group of 765 changed for Haruka's sake, but Haruka was kind of more or less just attempting to reset status quo because she lost her way, and it was about her finding her way back. because she got, too caught up in trying to not just see her own success, but everyone's success, that she kind of lost. She saw the beginning and the end without the finer details in the middle.
She was the most boring character that was there, in my opinion, because literally, in the very first episode, at the very beginning, we start off with her just sitting down and doing nothing for 2 hours. And then she's just working at an average pace in comparison to everyone else, and we really don't find anything else about her other than, oh, she played an evil character and she was good at it. Halfway through the series. And it was for like a ridiculous thing where everyone was fucking ridiculous.
So that was kind of amazing.
It was Gurren Lagann in a commercial.
She brought out her acting talent, out of guilt. I mean, I think that's where a little bit of her death came from.
Yeah, but that doesn't provide depth to her character. It doesn't tell me anything about her. It just tells me, oh, hey, she feels shitty because she knows that if she didn't decide to back up and walk away from the producer, he wouldn't have had to fucking fall 3 stories and break every bone in his body.
Yeah, the development was more so for the sake of the story than her character.
It was her fault.
I don't mean the producer falling, but like her all of a sudden finally getting serious, was more so for her arc's sake than her character development. Because as I still say, she doesn't develop really until the movie, because this show ends on the series attempting to finally reset itself to status quo, just in a better status quo than when the series started. And then in the movie, we're finally going to get, the Haruka that you kind of really need to see to feel like her arc has been worth something.
Okay. I guess I have to watch that then.
Well, we are. That's what we're watching next week.
We're using it as our in-between for our next 2 core show.
Okay.
We've already discussed this.
Okay. After this, now, I'm gonna tell you why I enjoyed this show.
You enjoyed this?
Even. Like, I did derive enjoyment from this show. Surprisingly enough, after every fucking negative thing that I just said about it. The characters are shit, the story is shit, the animation shit. But what made me like this show was the fact that it was like... it was just stupid fun. That's all it was.
Oh, episode 8?
You knew that everything was bad, but it was all just stupid fun. Episode 8 is what makes you realize it is stupid fun.
Episode 8 is one of my favorite episodes.
It was fantastic.
That was amazing.
Fucking ninja fight out of nowhere.
Never expected Idolmaster.
Oh my god, it was amazing.
Before that point, to have this just hilarious citywide adventure where it's all this random and crazy stuff is happening with all these characters going out doing whatever and just causing havoc until this big just explosion at the end, and it was hilarious to watch.
Such a random episode.
It was stupid fun. That's why I liked the series at all. But other than that, other than me being a sucker for darker side characters with a deep past, I really couldn't find anything else that was good about this series. But it is stupid fun and something that you can watch in your spare time when no one else is around with headphones on, so no one else hears you no one else comes in, and you can pause it without them hearing idle music going off in the background.
No one has to step in and hear you go like, change!
Because that would be really freaking embarrassing.
Blah, blah, blah.
And just skip the openings, because the openings get repetitive after like 3
the first
seconds.
opening was horrid, but I really, really like the second one.
I don't like either of them.
The second one works on me.
In terms of animation, the second one's better.
It is.
But in terms of the songs, no, I really don't like any.
Well, the songs in this series really aren't very good, and the only good ones you'll even hear are ever sung by Chihaya, but they're always kind of overshadowed by the actual dialogue, so you never really get to hear like the good parts of her music. So, but I mean, this series does have really good music, though. I mean, I say the same basically about any idol show, is that all the good music comes from outside the series. So if you want to hear the catchiest songs, the most epic songs, the coolest songs, you always got to look outside
You gotta buy the soundtracks.
Yeah.
Looks at Sif.
What, you talking about School Idol Festival?
Yeah, she's like, all the songs that weren't in the anime.
I can still name some songs that aren't even in School Idol Festival that I still fucking like. And then Wake Up Girls really only had one good song, outside of its series. It didn't really have that good of music at all. But Jello, oh god, Jello was pretty fucking dope. And then if you're gonna listen to one song in Idolmaster, you gotta listen to Numuri Hime. That song is epic. It's Chihaya. Her vocals are god tier, but there's an epic choir in the background for the entire song, and it's so good. So good, right? You gotta listen to that.
I think Drake is fanboying.
He is, but okay.
Let's let him. We can let him. I think we should let him wax eloquently about his waifu.
Yes, do it, Drake. Speak of your waifus.
Okay. Idolmaster founded me my new waifu, Miki Hoshi.
You sound so reluctant. Yeah. Come on. Where is the energy? Where is the shine and sparkle?
Everything to explain, I explained in this, this discussion amongst us. I talked about, where her character was changing, where you can find it, why it works, why it's good, and the character that she ended up as at the end, as compared to the bitch who I really, really fucking hated at the start, it left a really good impression on me. And I'm like, yes, I like this girl. I like you, Finale Miki. I really, really love you. And I've loved you basically ever since, like, episode 12. So, I mean, you're kind of the best girl. You have my heart. Totally. 100%.
Alright, I think it's time to move
yeah. And we've just covered all of Idolmaster.
So,
no more requests!
Thank God Macross is over. Log Horizon.
Okay, Log Horizon. This episode.
It was okay.
Valentine's Day.
At least Tetra didn't ruin it.
It was one of the cheesy episodes where it was just like, oh, we're gonna take a break.
That's all it was. Actually, I was upset. There wasn't very many Valentine-y things going on in this Valentine's Day episode. No relationships even stepped.
It was not very Valentine's-y. You're right.
My comment on the thread was had less progress in a chapter of Nisekoi.
I kind of really disagree with that because the second Nuriha and Intix stepped into the picture, show got serious again.
I'm sorry, Will. I don't think you understand the progress of Nisekoi. Do you keep up with the manga?
Yeah.
Oh God.
I do. I'm saying that there was less development in this episode of Log Horizon than there is in a chapter of Nisekoi.
No, I'd say that there was at least like a percentage of development compared to the negative percent that there is in Nisekoi.
I mean, things happened in this episode.
Yeah,
we were told.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Misa got her arm replaced. She got like this new mechanical arm now, and I was like, "Yo, we're like Luke Skywalker. Let's do this."
What I found really stupid about that was, hey, let's meet on the top of an abandoned building. It's not like I have a laboratory or anything that you've seen multiple times. Why not just do it there?
I don't know. Does it bother you that much?
No, I just thought it was kind of weird.
Just showing off the arm. And I'm like, yes, we got robot arms now.
Well, they want to kind of keep it secret so then people aren't freaking out.
If they see her robot
like, wait,
arm...
what the fuck? All our weapons are going to kill us now?
If they see her robot arm, they know something went down anyway.
Let's hope this robot arm don't have some flavor text.
Oh, God.
I would not be surprised. Because it is an item.
Also, I'm trying to figure out what Natsugu was going to say to Marie when she asked, like, what type of girl that he likes, because
he was combining
I literally typed it out. It was OPANTI. And before he got like kicked by like Akatsuki, right? And then it's like, yeah, I mean, it was like a weird mix between Opai and Pantsu, but I mean, why would he say that? What does that have to do with the kind of girl he likes? Unless he's literally like letting his perverted mind overcome like his actual love for Marie, which I would think is kind of shallow. So I'm like oh Pantsu.
Well, that is what he loves most.
Yeah.
That is what he loves.
Same way
most.
Shiro loves curry more than anyone.
Well, they didn't directly ask him, what he liked. Like, someone asked, "What's for dinner?" and he said, "I want curry."
What would you like for dinner? Curry!
But most of the story from this episode came with New Reha and Intix. They're seen together, and kind of more or less Intix treating New Reha like a piece of shit. Being like, no one will ever love you. No one ever wants you. It's like, no one can ever handle, the dark secrets of your past. Whatever those may be.
According to Crunchyroll comments, the phrasing whatever was basically she was a prostitute, I think. That was what they were hinting at with the phrasing and everything, but because of political correctness, they couldn't literally just call her a prostitute.
Wait, what?
That's according to
What was it again?
something about the way the phrasing of what Intex was calling her was like commonly used to refer to prostitutes. That's according to Crunchyroll comments, so they might be wrong.
I don't think that's what was happening.
That's just according to Crunchyroll comments.
That sounds kind of far. And I know the anime is a lot lighter than what the light novels are, but I don't even think light novels.
Well, that's ironic. Anime's a lot lighter than the light novels.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I wouldn't call that ironic, but
bad pun, whatever.
No, I don't even think that's ironic either. I don't understand. Yeah. Oh, ha.
Will, you
ha,
and
ha,
your bad
ha,
puns.
Ha ha. I get it.
Drake,
just
you
got
just
that,
now
Drake?
got that?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I wanted to say, why'd they explain the fruits twice? This is not World Trigger.
Because they explained them to two different people. And they added more to the second explanation. And it's not like it took like an hour for them to explain it like World Trigger does.
But one thing I thought, maybe it's just a Dean thing, a Season 2 Dean thing, but has Rudy stopped speaking English since he became an adventurer?
We just haven't heard him say anything.
Well, I'm
yet.
just saying, it might have been not heard it.
No, I mean, this is the most dialogue he's had all season, and it was only just a couple lines.
Yeah, calm down, Will.
Well, like, usually every other word out of his mouth was screaming English.
I think he did say some English, like, right when he popped in.
That knows
Probably
it.
did. I mean, I wasn't really paying attention to it, but then again, maybe I'm just so used to it that I wasn't looking for it. So whether he did or didn't, I can't tell you, but I would assume as much. I mean, it's Rudy. Come on.
I also found out he was voiced by Tetsuya Kakihara. That fits fairly well. Well, I think now we're going to move on to Unlimited Blade Works.
More Valentine's Day shit that didn't happen. Face Day night.
Okay, Unlimited Blade Works.
Valentine's Day bus.
50 minutes this week. Valentine's Day stuff, and boss battle, and fucking insanity. I personally liked it for what this episode was. I liked the way that it ended. I kind of wished that they did one thing, but they didn't do it because that would change the story and it would be like, oh, but it didn't happen. So whatever. I wasn't that disappointed, but they kind of hinted that they might do it, and then they didn't follow through.
I know Drake was disappointed that we didn't get to see Ren in a baseball outfit or something.
Ren in a baseball outfit was fucking hot. It didn't happen.
0 to 10.
Okay, no more baseball jokes.
Drake, your feelings about this episode?
My feelings about this episode. Boring.
Yep.
Boring.
Very boring.
Still really boring. And ending on the disillusioned fan service was very strong, but you can't beat the 2010 version. The cover by Lisa, just not as good as the original. And I'm sorry, I don't remember who performed the original, but Lisa.
I liked the fact that they did at least do something with it. They did a little remix on it. It was like, oh hey, there's a callback to the fans, a little fan service. That's not that bad.
It was more of a cover than a remix.
Yeah, it sounded okay. So
it was okay. I just wanted to hear the original. I'm like, is it so hard to get the rights for that? It's Fate Stay Night. It's like the theme song of the series, of the entire franchise.
I'm still a noob to the Type Moon universe, so I'm not really gonna argue that one with you.
Okay, then, Will, just tell us your opinion on this episode.
Boring, boring, boring. NTR, boring.
NTR.
Oh, something that did stick out to me though is when Archer first broke the bounded fields and they were all kind of leaving, like, for some reason, the shading style, like, got so much more intense just for this, like, scene where nothing was happening. Everyone was just kind of walking out the gate. But all of a sudden, all the shading became a lot thicker and more detailed than just this typical gradients that you see. And I'm like, why is everything shiny now?
It's because fucking Urobuchi came back and he was like, we have to put a little polish on this episode. Like we did with every episode in Fate Zero. Here we go. I know exactly what to do. Put some actual literal polish on everything. He took some shoe shine and put that clear coat shoe shine and just put it on each frame. And then he submitted it. He was like, here we go. There we go. That's perfect.
Saber and Castor's fight actually did not look that good for Ufotable standards.
Well, they really didn't fight.
Yeah, that wasn't a fight.
I mean, when the camera panned out, though, it was kind of sloppy. I mean, not sloppy, but I mean, just...
Well, they're already doing Blu-ray fixes, so...
You know, Fate, you know what didn't have to do Blu-ray fixes? Fate Zero.
Yeah, they did.
They fixed the art. But I mean... I had never ever noticed like actual like problems with layering or like actual like misaligned details. I mean, like if you look back at episode 0 and you see like that handicap ramp and how it just goes into a bush, you're like, how do you make a mistake like that? You know, it's like I didn't see any of those problems with like Fate Zero, and that was 3 years ago.
I'm gonna Google that.
Yeah, you don't see it when you initially watch it, but then when they are like, no, we're gonna nitpick this shit and fix it, then it's like, oh, okay. It's cool that they do that. I'm glad that they do that, but it doesn't change the fact that it's gonna happen either way, especially with Ufotable. So I'm not too worried about the animation in that sense, because even if you're going to nitpick it, compared to everything else this season, this is one of the best looking shows. I don't care.
No, it still is.
I just found that image of the wheelchair ramp going into the bushes.
Just like, fuck your grandfather.
Well, it's at the school, so it doesn't matter.
Go down.
Fuck all handicapped students. Subliminal messaging.
We hate the handicapped ones.
Only the strong may live in Japan.
Why is Shiro there?
Wait, then how did Producer San make it from the hospital?
He overcame his illness. He overcame his disabilities. And he was like, I am a man!
He was not a lady.
He was not a lady. He was ready, but not a lady.
The manliness of idol organization at its finest. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna say the one thing that I wanted to say earlier. When Castor was trying to basically take Shiro's command seals, and she was talking about, at least with the Crunchyroll subs, she was talking about how she would get them. She said that she would have to take his arm along with the command seals. Like, she would literally have to cut his arm off, and Jiro was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I thought that too.
I was hoping that they would have fucking done that, because then it would have brought itself into the other arc, and it's like, oh, are we changing everything now?
What other arc? Does he lose an arm in Heaven's Feel or something?
Yes, he loses his arm in Heaven's Feel.
He loses his arm in the film.
This series has, at several points, has had its chance to go into the Heaven's Feel route, and it hasn't taken them, so I didn't expect this one to be any different.
But that would have been the coolest fucking thing to do out of nowhere. Just like, boom, nope, your arm's gone. And it's like, because that's the last thing anyone expected from the series at all, because we've already seen all the previous information. If you've never read the light novel, if you've never went through the visual novel, then you would be really surprised if they actually cut his fucking arm off. And I think that would be fucking awesome if they did it. But no, he just kind of got stabbed.
He didn't even get stabbed.
He did? He got stabbed?
No, Saber got stabbed, and then Saber controlled got stabbed.
No, he got stabbed by Saber.
Yeah, it was Saber when she was controlled by
That's all he got away with. And it was like, no, I wanted his arm to be gone. disappointment.
And him getting injured was set up for the plot point that it'd be like, oh man, there's a second necklace.
Whatever. It looked good. It was presented properly.
I'm not complaining. I'm just accusing it for what it is. And pointing out that it's like, oh man, this is something to think about again, because I know since episode 1, everyone was wondering what the fuck happened to the necklace. Episode 12 finally answers that question, or doesn't answer it, but it's like it brings it back up.
The foreshadowing is so blatant at this point.
It's reviewing everything at the halfway point. It's not really foreshadowing, it's... Okay, alright. The foreshadowing is written talking about...
height.
Fucking Shiro growing up.
It's like...
In the first half of the episode, just basically saying, hey, idiot, you're gonna grow up to be a badass. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry, you'll get taller. How do you know that? No reason.
Just a feeling.
The thing is, she didn't even know.
I got a feeling!
Thank you, I gotta be a badass.
Even she doesn't know at this point who Archer is.
She knows.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah, she does.
She asked Archer if he knew, and he said no.
No, I don't think she's supposed to. I think that line was just like coincidental dialogue that was kind of there.
No.
To be funny.
Everything she talks about after that fact to Archer, that episode, she's like, so you really don't remember who you are, huh? And he's like, nope. And then she's like, God damn it, I need to tell him, but I can't tell him. And it's like, oh... Because you knew after she had that dream in the previous episode, she knows now.
Well, only the visual novel can answer that question, and it's not something I feel like looking up.
I gave this series a 4.5 out of 5, just because I think that the Fate Stay Night routes are far better than Zero. I gave Zero like a 3 or a 2.5. I did not like Zero that much, because it had a lot of convenient bullshit that happened. Here, especially in this series, this Unlimited Blade Works arc, the convenient bullshit plot devices that they threw in aren't really used very much, and it's not like we're talking about what's he fucking say? What's the famous line? People die when they are killed. It's not like he says that every fucking 10 seconds.
No, but I mean, my problem with this series is not that things are being convenient, it's that everyone's making things more inconvenient for themselves, and I don't understand why. I'm not gonna kill you yet. I'm not gonna kill you yet. I'm not gonna kill you yet. I mean, at least in Zero, everyone wanted to get the job done, and I don't even really think things were ever convenient. I mean, you can explain a lot of what happened if you just understand the backstory of, the Fate universe. Something that I enjoy, and something that I studied, just from watching Zero so many times because I liked Zero that much. And I gave Zero 5 out of 5. And Fate Stay Night, I'd give like a 2.5 out of 5 for just being so blatantly average. And shonen. So blatantly average shonen.
I don't see what's wrong with shonen, but I don't think it's blatantly average at all.
I thought it was.
Well, there's nothing wrong with shonen. I think Log Horizon's a shonen. I just think Stay Night is just, it doesn't offer anything. And then it's just like, this is just the story of a boy who's gonna grow up. And then, as like they banter like children back with one another.
Okay, so are we done with Fate Stay Night now?
Yeah, I believe so.
Two things.
Okay.
2 things? Alright, let us hear.
Okay, there's 3. This show hates that bridge.
Yes.
That was the bridge where Caster showed up in Zero, with the giant tentacle monster. And then I think that was the bridge where Ryder and Archer fought in Zero. And now
Caster and Saber fight on it.
Yeah. They really hate that bridge.
No, they really love that bridge. It's like, this bridge is the center of the fucking city. Are you kidding? In the Unlimited Blade Works, Shiro runs on that runs to that bridge at least like 20 times. It's in the movie, he runs that bridge like 20 times. In the original series, he runs to that bridge like 100 times. They love that bridge. The bridge is just an awesome looking place to put your characters.
Another thing. I forgot that Lancer and Berserker were in this show.
Yeah.
We've not seen them since they showed up.
But that's how sucked in that it makes you. And I think that's a good thing.
I don't think that's a good thing, because I wasn't sucked in. I considered it a fault that, I kind of, had to be reminded that these characters exist. And I knew Lancer was always there, but when it went to Ilya again and it showed Berserker, I was like, whoa, this is a thing. They hang out together? Why don't I see this?
They hang out together?
Yeah.
I think we'll see more of it. Maybe.
Well, we are getting Ilya and Berserker backstory next core.
Alright. So, any more opinions, Will?
How did Casher get 3 command seals?
Yeah, that was weird. That was weird. I don't get it.
How did that work?
I don't get it either.
Well, she's also a master in the first place, which kind of makes me wonder, like, okay, so if you are already master, you could have went in the church in the first place and not had to worry about it. So why do you need to be a master of 2 to be able to go in the church? I don't get it.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think she's technically a master over her own assassin. Because, he's not the real assassin.
No, that's why. I remember now. It's because she is the master, but she just couldn't leave because she had to make sure that she had her own protection and that her master had protection before she could leave and go and do whatever the fuck she wanted. Now that she has Saber for her protection, she can go do whatever the fuck she wants.
Yeah, that's fine by me, but I'm just wondering why we haven't seen command seals on her before up until now.
It's like, why haven't we seen any on Kuzuki? Or on Shinji?
Actually, one thing that I'm really fucking weirded out by, for Assassin, did his ribs get pulled out or some shit?
Yeah, what was that?
That was like, whoa, wait, what? You're standing after that? I don't care if you're like a legendary hero or what. Once you guys get fucking ripped open, I'm pretty sure it's over for you, whether or not you're legendary or not.
Assassin's the best character in this show. To me, he's clearly the wisest, and he's like the most badass.
But, dude, he got his fucking chest ripped open, and he was bleeding all over the place, and then it stopped, and he's like...
And he was just like, just a flesh wound.
It's just a flesh wound. What? He stands up like it's fucking nothing.
That is more than just a flesh wound.
Alright. Anything else, Will?
Actually, one time I was on TV Tropes for something, and I actually found Assassin being mentioned somewhere. Like, I just thought it was really weird because whatever Assassin's name is, Soichiro something or other, I have never heard that name before in my life. Like, King Arthur, Hercules, Medusa, those characters.
Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh, you know him. Alexander the Great. Does anyone know who Assassin was in Stay Night?
Kojiro, he's so Japanese.
We don't know shit about Japanese culture. The rest of them are all more European, which Americans will be more familiar with. So I'm not that surprised that we don't know anything about this dude. In fact, fucking Lancer I don't know shit about. Apparently he's like German or some shit.
I had to read him up, but
Or
apparently
Scottish.
he's like some guy who like died tied to a tree and his blood like kind of grew into like a flower. That's all I really got from it.
What? Okay. Well then. Yeah, that's weird. Alright. Should we move on to the next show now? Well, some shit kinda happened.
Ish.
But not really.
It was a training montage without us allowing to see the training montage.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking lame. I was actually a little pissed about that. It was like, oh yeah, we're gonna hype up this fucking training area that we have, and then you see her shoot across the training area, and it's like, yeah, we're gonna have a training montage, and then they're like, nope. Wait, what?
So, because Shonen, we're starting a tournament arc.
Yeah, like all of a sudden it's like, really? We're doing that? Oh, okay. Tournament arc. Every shonen series, this is a requirement. You must go through some sort of tournament.
I mean, tournament arcs are usually good. I mean, tournament arcs are fun.
So this is how your rank is determined. It's not determined by like actual
how good you
training.
are. It's just
It's not determined by your mission ratings. It's not determined by your fucking achievements on the battlefield. It's not determined by the paperwork that you do. It's determined by whether or not you can kick your best friend's ass.
Can you punch that guy in the face hard enough? Yeah. For promotion.
No. It's whether you can kick everyone's ass that's around you and waste our time and not do important missions when people are getting murdered and mauled by giant robotic alien creatures coming from the sky. Yeah, this sounds like a great idea.
So apparently this happens 3 times a year, too. So this happens 3 times a year, and the next tournament's going to be in 3 weeks. And within that 3 weeks, we have Osamu, Chika, and Yuma training to go and partake in the tournament.
I'm just waiting for next episode. Next episode, that's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, I mean, this episode did end on a good cliffhanger. That's the most I can say.
Oh shit, we're getting all the best badass dudes, and they're gonna come and assassinate Yuma. Oh, alright, I want to see this shit. There we go. And then you see the little clip of them running real fast, like ninja people, and it's like, oh, there we go.
Oh, are you talking about the preview?
The preview.
Okay, I didn't watch that preview.
The preview looked pretty sweet.
Because I always skip it because I don't want to sit through the whole cardboard cutout shit. And so
the cardboard cutout was actually pretty
At least it wasn't a
recap
time. Today.
Was it?
It wasn't a recap.
No, it was making fun of one of the characters.
It was making fun of Konami.
The ditzy girl that fought Yuma.
It was the handsome lazy one, whatever they call him. The 16-year-old guy.
The perfect version of Osamu.
Yes, him.
Osamu's perfect version. That's literally... It's like the other two, they're complete opposites, but then Osamu's leader, it's like...
Mega Osamu.
This, you will become me in the future. It's just like, I will train you to become me.
I like the new characters. The A ranks for the Tamakoma branch introduced this episode. These guys were pretty cool. I enjoyed spending time with them.
I hate Konami.
And the cliffhanger at the end of this episode where the ship kind of landed in the middle of headquarters, I was like, okay, interesting things are happening. I can get behind this. You still wasted about 15 out of, 20 minutes of my time. But, I mean, the story's picking up. The story is picking up. Training montage that we never got to actually see because everyone's kind of more so talking about what's happening in the training montage rather than letting us see it. But budget, whatever, as long as the story's progressing and the story is progressing.
But I want to see the training montage.
That's what I love, just still frames. Even
if
that.
If you're gonna make a shonen, you have to have the training montage. That's bullshit.
Can I just say I hate Konami? She's so annoying. With that I mean Rikuyama. Just take her out back and beat the living crap out of her. Just shut up.
I hate her hair. Her hair bothers me.
Wait, who's Konami again?
The girl.
Which one?
The ditz.
The one with the long...
The one who got the crap kicked out of her by Yuma.
Whose hair changes when she changes modes? I swear to God, that mode change cost more than the series put together. The opening and that mode change sequence that they somehow got to work for every fucking character costs more than the rest of the series.
Probably.
Why would you spend your money on that? It's like, who budgeted this? Who approved
An idiot.
this? I've seen good Toei. And good recent Toei.
Me too, but I just want to know who the fuck said, yeah, we have enough money for 50 episodes. Totally.
Totally. And we can do all these awesome effects. We just have to spread it out. Just spread it out. I bet that was their pitch. We're just gonna spread it out nice and evenly. And we're gonna have these awesome effects that are going along with it. Don't worry, this'll be enough money. We can make this work, right, guys? Yeah, I guess we can make it work. Sorta. We're only working with, 12 episodes, right? Yeah, 50 episodes. That's perfect. See, 50 episodes. That's what happened. That was the pitch. Everyone else said 12 episodes, then...
They're waiting for their payday from Majin Buu, which is not going to come anytime soon. Appreciate people need to watch Majin Buu. It's awesome.
So, are we going to be continuing this series?
I say give it one more episode.
Into the next season? No.
Yeah, because this is 50 episodes.
I say give it one more episode, and then we decide.
I say that once it finishes airing, we do a little review on it, because we did watch it.
No, I don't plan to drop it.
And just watch it on our own time.
Yeah.
Well, you don't drop anything.
I know I don't. It's like, I dropped Sheerbach, I'm like, no, I want to complain about it. Put it back on my list. Drop Gundam, I'm like, no, I can't drop a Gundam show. I can't drop my first Gundam show. Added it back to my list.
You can never drop a Gundam show.
No, Reconquista in G is so bad.
It is, but you can't drop it.
It's so bad.
You can't drop it. But the thing is, I
animation and
watched
art.
the first couple of episodes. Okay, we're getting off topic. God damn it, Will, stop. All right, so are we moving on now? Are we done with World Trigger?
All right, Akatsuki no Yona. Oh man, let me tell you, this is probably my favorite episode of Akatsuki no Yona yet. And you know what really sells it?
This is my least favorite episode.
What really sells it for me?
We didn't have any Yona.
Mitsuru Miyamoto's performance as Ao took my breath away. This guy, for just a cameo role, was so fucking good. There's I wanted to see him more in this series. I wanted to see more of this character just to listen to this guy act because it was so good.
Yeah, I agree. Can we get Ao instead of whoever the new Blue Dragon guy is? Because Ao was kind of awesome. And I don't like the Blue Dragon guy already. Grow up hair, kid.
Well, you don't know that yet.
Did they even say his name?
I think I said his name. I never mentioned it.
No. I have my own personal feelings that go in towards that background that I don't really like to discuss. I don't necessarily like Ao's character. Sure, it serves a point, but it was dude, you're fucking punching this kid in the head. Damn. No. I didn't like it.
Ao is abusive and batshit insane. I mean, when his eyes went away and he went blind, but he wasn't.
He was happy about it.
Yeah, he was happy that he's oh my god, the dragon power's gone. I'm finally human again. Ah, it's
I can die or whatever.
Yeah,
screaming.
First, the performance was scary good, but it really made me feel for who our Blue Dragon is. Supposedly, I think his name is Shin by Wikipedia, but I was dude, is you hang out with this freaky motherfucker. I mean, this guy who is a badass, but also really, really fucking terrifying.
And mentally unstable.
Yeah, he's just been so broken by the power and what the city has and what this town has done to him. So basically, the Blue Dragon town is basically the exact opposite of Kija's town in every way, shape, and form. I mean, these people despise the Blue Dragon. These people, have these terrible rumors about him.
And he's basically Medusa, wouldn't you?
Well, I don't think they're rumors because the kid fucking massacred
the army or whatever.
Goddamn army that came after him.
They're like myths. They're like an exaggeration saying, "Oh man, he's gonna turn you to stone." Yeah, he has the power to paralyze, but it's not like you turn to stone forever, right?
I think he just paralyzed them for life. That's why. I think that's why everyone's fucking scared of him, because they just kind of drop dead. I don't think it's just paralyzed.
And so the Blue Dragon's also made to wear this mask, and everyone else in the town wore the mask too. probably the whole, like, we wear our masks, before we're married was kind of some sort of excuse. But, it's like...
So he wouldn't feel worse.
Yeah, I guess.
Whatever.
And so it's like everyone wears a mask, and, our blue dragon wears a mask. And I thought he was also going to be, like, a mute, because he doesn't talk at all until his flashback. But he wasn't. He had a voice.
We just haven't heard his super sexy husbando voice yet.
Yeah, right.
That's all.
But,
it's gonna happen. This is the husbando.
Also, can I just say, Kija,
okay,
getting all happy whenever Yona was being nice to him, like, oh my god, shut up. You're so annoying.
dude, you're a fangirl.
Kija is the worst character of
He's
this
annoying.
That
But anyways, what I was going to get at is that the blue dragon...
No, Gija.
Gija, right? Thanks, Crunchyroll. Anyways, so it's like the blue dragon in this town is so hated, so despised, that not only is he put under the custody of Al, but even when he was born, his mother killed herself immediately. Upon the birth of this child, and when she knew what she had birthed, she committed suicide. And I was like, oh my god. Like, this town is actually a fucked up place. And it's...
You know what? There is one character parallel that I will give this to that I think everyone kind of knew this was coming. This is a Gara parallel. This is Gara.
You are so right.
Except not evil. He just didn't turn out to be evil. So far. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right.
Because he's not being used for anything, he's Gara without a purpose.
Yep.
That was sort of explained at the beginning, like when we got like the Four Dragons story, though. It's like, everyone's just waiting for you. And so Kija was like, yeah, I don't have a purpose. And this new guy right now, he's like, I don't have a purpose. I'm just waiting for my king to come and take me away. Yep.
My master.
For the first time ever, though, I finally laughed at a joke in this series. The dungeon crawl scene, well, I actually kind of made me chuckle.
That was pretty funny. That was pretty good.
Yeah. It was like, hey, video game reference.
Really, what I'm wondering is, why when they were doing the searching, couldn't they just, get to a crossroads and then do the check? Like, oh, to the left, crossroads, to the right. It's like, you could have found it much easier than just wandering around. Doing whatever the hell you were doing.
They were making a map.
Your point. It obviously didn't help if they got lost. Well, when Yona got separated for being an idiot.
Yona got separated because she went through a fucking hidden door that they didn't know about.
I would have been like, hey guys, there's a trap door over here. Let's go.
Well, yeah, that's because Yona's a fucking idiot, but okay.
Also, why was Yona just...
In case you haven't noticed, Yona's not the brightest one here. She is the male harem protagonist.
Also, quick question. Why was Yona so ready to give up? Like, when they got in, she's like, I guess we just won't be able to find him. You don't want to go with us. Well, that's bad. Mickey's just like, no, you gotta find him.
Well, I think she was just like, oh, well, I guess we'll go look for the other two dragons. Because if we can't find him here, then fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be respectful to these people's territory.
She just wants to get her results as fast as possible, and if they don't have it, then fuck it. We'll go do what the other things that we need to go do. That's kind of why.
Also, at this point, half the anime is just flashbacks, I think.
Well, it's not like we're flashbashing to stuff we've already seen. It's all backstory. And it's all really good backstory, in my opinion.
Nothing connecting, though, but good backstory, yes. Okay, so are we done with Yona? This episode was pretty decent.
Yeah, it was okay.
Although, kind of fucked up.
Yeah, but that's why I liked it, though. I mean, just, ow. This dude stole the screen the entire time.
That's why his name is Al.
You sure it's not a pun on the fact that his name is Blue?
Ow!
Yeah.
I think it's both. I think it's the fact that his hair is blue and everyone goes ow around Al. Ow! Why'd you do that?
So this has actually been a rather shorter, more basic episode for us. Not that that was a bad thing. I actually enjoyed this episode a lot.
I think that's a good thing, although it's like a half hour show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until we decide to make it longer by doing this thing for fucking forever.
And editing's gonna cut down on time, too.
Hopefully. Alright. Well then. I guess, who wants to do the outro?
I'll do it. Well, people, thank you for watching episode 13 of Anime Circuit. With me today, we had Miles.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everyone. Although this is the 13th episode, hopefully you're not that unlucky.
We had Drake, the king of waifus.
I'm not the king of waifu.
Yes, you are.
You are. Jinga determined it.
And that's Will.
Yeah. I've been up for 36 hours. Because I'm stupid.
Yeah, you are.
Shut up, Miles.
I've been up all day, too. Since yesterday.
Well, he shouldn't be up for 36 hours when he's got a podcast to do.
I did. That's just coincidence.
Alright. So we'll end it.
Well, next week we'll be reviewing the Idolmaster movie. And doing a general wrap-up of some of the other shows we've enjoyed from the season. Well, thank you for joining us for episode 13 of Anime Circuit. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.